A beautiful weekend to all our viewers. Has the campaign for the next presidential election already begun? Can a governor confidently declare that an entire state has already decided who should remain president? And what does it mean when a sitting governor describes his state as a one-party state in a country built with multi-party democracy? Those are the questions stirring political debates after Imo State Governor Hope Uzodimma made bold statements about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the All Progressive Congress, and the political future of Imo State. According to the report by the Cable, Governor Hope Uzodimma declared that the people of Imo State have already decided they want President Bola Ahmed Tinubu re-elected in 2027.
Look at it. The population of APC, verifiable with name, is in excess of 13 million. Look at the number of people benefiting from the school loan. Look at the number of people benefiting from various social interventions. In Imo State is a one-party state. I can say that authoritatively.
Speaking during a reception organized by members of the presidential media tour in Owerri, the governor argued that the president's economic reforms have transformed the state's finances and made it possible for his administration to deliver visible development projects across Imo State. Governor Uzodimma said the support for President Tinubu in Imo is based on what residents have witnessed since the current administration introduced a series of economic reforms. According to him, many of the projects currently being executed across the state would not have been possible without the increased financial resources now available to state governments. He told members of the media delegation that Imo residents appreciate the president's policies and believe those policies should continue. One of the governor's strongest arguments centered on the removal of the fuel subsidy, one of the most significant and controversial decisions taken by the Tinubu administration. While many Nigerians have criticized the policy because of rising fuel prices and the increased cost in living, Uzodimma insisted that decisions had greatly improved the financial position of states by increasing allocation from the Federation Account Allocation Committee, commonly known as the FAAC. To support his position, the governor reflected on the financial situation his administration inherited when he assumed office. He explained that after salaries were paid, very little money remained for development projects. According to him, the situation changed dramatically after the removal of the fuel subsidy, which monthly FAAC allocation increasingly significantly. He argued that those additional resources have enabled his administration to invest in infrastructure, public services, and other development programs that residents can now see across the states. Uzodimma also highlighted what he described as remarkable improvements in Imo State's internally generated revenue. According to the governor, monthly internally generated revenue has grown from less than 400 million naira to nearly 6 billion naira under his administration. He also claimed that the state's debt profile has been substantially reduced, saying Imo has moved from a position of heavy indebtedness to one of greater financial stability. These figures, according to the governor, demonstrate that prudent financial management and increased revenue have strengthened the state's economy. The governor also pointed improvements in road infrastructure. He argued that traveling across Imo State has now become much easier because of road construction and rehabilitation projects carried out during his administration. According to him, journey that previously took several hours can now be completed much more quickly, improving movement for residents, businesses, and investors. Another major claim made by the governor concerns electricity. Uzodimma said Imo State now generates, transmits, and distributes electricity within the state capital using what he described as homegrown power infrastructure. He added that his administration plans to extend electricity supply to additional local government areas, presenting the development as evidence that Imo is becoming increasingly attractive for business and industrial investments. Perhaps the state attracting the greatest political attention was the governor's description of Imo as a one-party state, while Nigeria remains constitutionally a multi-party democracy. Uzodimma's remarks reflect what he sees as the growing political dominance of the All Progressive Congress within the states. Political observers note that such statements are often intended to project confidence and demonstrate party strength, even though opposition parties continue to operate and participate in elections throughout the country. Also, addressing the gathering was a special advisor to the President of Media and Public Communication, Sunday Dare. He praised Governor Uzodimma's leadership and commended that he described the growing strength of the APC across Nigeria. Dare suggested that the party continues to attract more governors and political leaders, arguing that this reflects increasingly confidence in President Tinubu's leadership and the direction of the ruling party. Supporters of the federal government argue that increased FAAC allocations have given state governments greater capacity to invest in infrastructure, education, healthcare, and economic development. They believe the difficult reforms introduced by the Tinubu administration are beginning to create stronger financial foundations for long-term national growth. From this perspective, governors now have more resources to address challenges that had previously remained unresolved because of limited funding. Critics, however, present a different view. While acknowledging that state revenue have increased, many argue that ordinary Nigerians continue to struggle with inflation, rising food prices, transportation costs, and declining purchasing power. They contend that economic success should not be measured solely by government revenue or infrastructure projects, but also by the improvements in household incomes, employment opportunities, and the overall quality of life experienced by citizens. The debate surrounding fuel subsidy removal therefore remains one of the defining political issues of the current administration. Economists have long argued that subsidy consumed enormous public funds and encouraged inefficiency. At the same time, millions of Nigerians continue to feel the immediate effects of higher living costs following its removal. This has placed increasing pressure on government at every level to demonstrate that the additional revenues are producing measurable benefits for the people. Governor Uzodimma's comments also provide an early glimpse into the political messaging that is likely to dominate discussions as the next general election approaches. Supporters of the ruling party are expected to campaign on infrastructure developments, increased government revenues, and fiscal reforms. Opposition parties, meanwhile, are likely to focus on the economic hardship experienced by many Nigerians and question whether the benefits claimed by the government officials are being felt across the country. Whether Imo State has indeed made up its mind, as Governor Uzodimma suggested, it's something only voters themselves can ultimately decide whether elections are going to hold. Until then, political declarations, campaign narratives, and competing interpretations of the government records will continue to shape public debates. What remains certain is that discussion about leadership, economic reforms, and Nigeria's political future have already intensified, and every statement from influential political figures will continue to attract national attention. Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you find this report informative, kindly like, share, and subscribe for more news reports. I'm Chimezrim Okoro. Thanks for watching. We will see you in the next report.